Hey folks, welcome back. Well, I didn't get to make the other video because it started raining, folks. And it's raining a pretty good clip, but I wouldn't call it pouring. It's just pouring. It's just raining steadily. So, I would like to kind of address a few of the comments that were posted and were deleted. Alright? So the first one seems you can probably hear a bunch of machinery not too far from here on the camp road. You can hear big trucks. One person wanted to know what all that racket was and why or what was happening. Well, I could answer the truth, but I don't find it's anybody's business. But if I were to guess, what they want to hear would be maybe, just maybe, we're building a bunker. Because the world's going to come crashing down, the nukes are going to come, and by jingas, our family's going to be safe, right? I could say that. I could say that we're building the foundation of a greenhouse or a high tunnel or whatnot, because again, the weather is going to get so crazy that we're going to have to put it out in the open, put our garden under cover. We're going to have to hook up a wood stove in order for us to grow food with artificial lights. Let's just throw that out there too, right? Or I could say that maybe we're building another road. Maybe we are preparing for the future, and maybe we have a thing going on out there where if anybody comes in, we're going to catch them before they all come all the way in here. I could come up with all kinds of things, folks, but it comes right down to it's none of your damn business. Alright? Another comment was, a lot of times you say we, but you also say that you live alone. Well, I do live alone, folks. I live alone as a human. I've got my birds, right? And when I say we, it's just a collective. It's just me, folks. I'm not doing any Freudian slips. I do live here by myself. And I don't know, some of you are just trying to catch me in some fibs or some lies or something, because heaven forbid a middle-aged single woman can live off-grid semi-primitively and do everything that I do. That can't possibly happen, right? That can't possibly happen. A man could do that, but apparently a couple or a few people that watch this channel live way back in the times where the women do all the indoor stuff and the men do all the outdoor stuff. Well, you've got to get into the right generation, skip forward a few generations, a few years, and realize that men can do outside stuff, women can do outside stuff. Men can do inside stuff, women can do inside stuff. It should be, in this time in our lives, in this day and age, that everybody does everything and it's not gender specific, right? That's all I'm going to say. You remember that old commercial? I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan. Well, here, we can go hunting, we can cook it, and we can eat it all by ourselves. So get with the times, folks. Get with the times, alright? Another comment I get an awful lot, folks. I wish you were more like this other channel. And it's only 2 or 3 channels that they're referencing to. I am not going to name them, folks. Folks, I'm not in competition. I don't want to be in competition. I don't want to be someone that I'm not. I am, as my twin sister says, I am me, and that's all I ever want to be. If you are your true, genuine self, then I'd say you're probably pretty happy and content in life. If you are trying to change others for your liking, well, that's just not right, right? That's just not right, folks. You can't change anyone. You can't try to change anyone. If you, and all of these were women that say this, you know, if you meet a guy and they're not to your liking, and you mold them into who you think they ought to be, how happy do you think they are? Seriously, how happy do you think they are? If they can't be their true, authentic, genuine self, then how happy are they? You're happy because you're getting your way, right? You're getting what you want, but are they happy? You might want to ask them that if they are happy. Let people be who they are because they only have one life to live. And they should live it in a way that makes them happy. Let them be who they are and just let it go. Why don't you love them for who they are? Right? That's always a question too. Why aren't you loving them for who they are? Or do you need to take control? Right? Maybe you need to take control and control everything around you. Well, that usually comes right around and bites people right in the ass, right? That hardly ever works, right? So, somebody the other day on here, and it was one of the first comments, and I deleted it. First thing, I really did. Because, well, I wanted to say a lot, but I really didn't. At the time, it wasn't worth my time and effort to respond. And you say you live in the woods. I bet you've got a lot of Bigfoot stories. I bet Bigfoot visits you all the time. I bet that's why you grow a big enough garden so you can feed Bigfoot and other Bigfoots and their families. I grow a big garden, folks, because I see hard times coming. I grow a big garden, folks, because that's what I eat out of for an entire year until my garden comes back into... Folks, I did make a part 1 and part 2 of Bigfoot in Maine. I did not say I did or did not believe in Bigfoot. But what if I did? What if I do have Bigfoot running around? What if I do feed it half of my garden? What if I do go for long walks with Bigfoot in the woods? What if I do? So what? So what? I don't. I think there's a lot of people that just like to stir up trouble. They do. They like to stir up trouble. They like to get under people's skin. And I really wished a lot of these people would focus more on themselves and what is coming, putting all that energy into having what they need for the times ahead, instead of focusing all their energy on being negative and trying to bring others down, right? But there are always going to be people that do that, and they kind of get their own little kicks out of it, and they're wasting their energy, and that's all well and good. That's all well and good. But, you know, in all honesty, I don't know if there's a Bigfoot, folks. I don't know if there are aliens. I think that we would be awfully, awfully naive to think that humans were the only ones in this whole universe. I'm not saying I believe in aliens. I'm not saying I don't believe in aliens. I'm not saying I believe in Bigfoot. I'm not saying that I don't believe in Bigfoot. I am saying that my mind is open. If I see something that is intriguing and kind of weird and kind of outside of my brain power to rationalize, I'm not going to give it a name. I'm going to say, hey, listen, this is what I saw. This is what I heard. This is what is happening. And then you got to be choosy on who you say that to, because some people are just going to laugh in your face because, you know, they have all the answers, right? They have all the answers. So, but if there was a Bigfoot, this would be prime area for a Bigfoot. There's a lot of bog, there's a lot of woods, it's kind of remote, right? For the most part, it's really quiet in here. And at night, where I live next to a bog, I can see many, many miles in a lot of directions, and you know, I would like to see something in the sky that I cannot explain. I would really like to know personally if there were aliens that were visiting us. I would like to know if there are Bigfoot around. I really would. Who knows? Who knows? There are believers in both, staunch believers in both, and then there are naysayers with both, right? I'm not saying if Bigfoot comes and sits on my doorstep at night while I sleep. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I was abducted by aliens. I'm not saying that. I'm not. So I'm not really sure where you're coming off with all that. Well, it'd be judgment. It would be judgment. Criticism. Why don't you folks that do that just go into your little dark little room and ponder what you're doing in life, and maybe come up with a plan to be a little nicer to people. Maybe try to find something that makes you happy so you're not trying to make others miserable. Right? Life's way too short to be miserable, folks.